Good morning. I'm StampinDeDe, and this is Stampin Thursday, and I'm so glad to be here with you this morning. I'm excited about the card that we're going to be looking at today. It's a Funfold card. Before we do that, I want to remind you that the 15% off Designer Series paper sale is still going on. So you still have, almost a couple of weeks to purchase your favorite Designer Series papers. And I think almost all the regulars, all the 1250 sets are 15% off. The ones that aren't, I think, are the specialty papers. So lots of wonderful sets of paper, and you don't want to let that opportunity go by. So again, I'm StampinDeDe. I'm so glad that you're here with me, and if you are, please say something. Tell me hello. Let me know that you're watching. I love to know who's watching, and I also appreciate it if you're watching the replay or if you're watching on YouTube. Thank you so much. I appreciate those who follow my videos and who watch. So be sure to leave me a comment. I always go back and look. And I love to see them. I love to see where you're from. So today, let's look at this Funfold card. This is called the WV. And hopefully you can see the W and the V. So this is called the WV Accordion Fold card. And you can do this card in so many different ways. And it is a really simple card to make. I've included the measurements right here. And we'll go over those in a minute. But right now, I just want to show you some of the samples. Now this one, I've hidden the greeting space behind the front of the card. There are different ways to do that, and here is a different one. On this one, this whole area is your greeting, where you can write your note to whomever you're sending the card to. So this one was done with citrus blooms. And this one is done with the lovely lavender, or the perennial lavender. Let's see. Painted lavender. So here is this one. And my embellishments have come from whatever set the Designer Series paper is from. Like this one was die cut from the Designer Series paper. And these were die cuts and stamps in the background, and the butterflies came from that set as well. Then the next one is from one of our new sets. This will come out in the new mini catalog. This is called Wintry Treetops, I think. Wintry Treetops, that's what it's called. Look at the fun bird paper. Isn't that fun? You can see there's just birds all over this paper. And then this bird was one that you can stamp and die cut and color. So I did that. And then the sentiment is from the Unbounded Love. Hope is believing in a brighter tomorrow. So there's this one. And then there's this one, and this is using the Spotlight on Nature set. And I stamped it, and then I stamped it again and fussy cut the blooms, the two blooms, so that they, and then I put them on with dimensionals so that they will kind of stand out. The butterfly, this butterfly is from the Paper Accents butterfly, the package of butterflies, paper butterflies that you can order, and then you can do what you want with them. So I wanted I didn't use the one from the Spotlight on Nature because it went this way. And I wanted my butterfly to go this way. So that's why I used the Paper Accents butterfly. But there is a beautiful butterfly that is included with the Spotlight on Nature. And again, this one I just used the smaller basic white piece to write your sentiment on your greeting. And it hides behind the front of the card. All right. The fun thing about this particular design is that when you cut these 4 pieces, if you've got a paper that lends itself to that, cut it and keep them in the order that you cut, and you can see the pattern just keeps going. I don't know, let's see if you can see it more on this one. It's hidden behind this, so you don't notice it as much, but you do see that the pattern continues. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to show you, I'm going to set these aside. And I'm going to show you the template. I make a template of every Funfold card that I see that I think I want to do again sometime. So here is the template for that card. And I mark my measurements on every piece of the template. And here's the base and the main piece. And when I did the template, I added designer series paper here, and I shouldn't have. It should have just been white. So that's why I wrote in should be white. And you can use either the 3 3/4 by 5 1/4 piece right here, or you can use the 2 3/4 by 2 3/4, and I'll show you how I get that on underneath the your V fold here. But you can do it either way, and I wanted to show you both ways. So we're going to make a card using this Funfold, and we're going to start, and I used the designer series paper that I chose is from the, I believe this one is the Thoughtful Journey. You know, we have 3 out now, or there will be when the new catalog comes out. So sometimes I love using these. Sometimes I forget which set I got it from, but this is from the Thoughtful Journey, I believe. So we're going to cut this up, and I have 2 pieces here in case I need another one. And we're going to use boho blue. So your base is 11 by 5 1/2. And then these are your scoring instructions. Scored at 1 3/4, 3 1/2, 5 1/4, and 7 inches. So we're going to take the boho blue. It's 11 inches long, and I'm going to cut it at 5 1/2. And I'm going to hold on to this piece because it is our second piece. Or we'll take our second piece from that. Now, I'm going to score it at 1 3/4. So I'm going to bring it up to the 1 3/4 mark. Get my cutting blade out of the way and give it a score. And then I'm going to bring it to 3 1/2 and score it again. And we'll bring it to 5 1/4 and score it again. And then the last score is at 7 inches. So I'm going to have to open up here and go to 7 inches and score it. Now, I've got that piece scored. My second piece is 6 by 3. So this is already 3. So I need to cut a 6-inch piece. Set this one aside for later. And then this is scored at 3 inches. So we'll just score it in half. All right. And I have already, let's see. No, I haven't. I'm going to do more cutting. So let me do this. So my basic white is 2 3/4 by 2 3/4, and I think I did cut that. And then I need another one that is 3 3/4 by 5 1/4, or another 2 3/4 by 2 3/4, depending on which inside you want to do. And I want to do this one that's hidden. So I'll set that one aside. Then my DSP, I'm going to cut 4 of them at 1 1/2 by 5 1/4. So 5 1/4, I think I'm going to cut the blue off. I could choose to cut that extra piece off, the 3/4 piece down here, but I'm going to cut it off the blue. I think I want more of my green showing. So 5 1/4. So I'll go ahead and cut the 5 1/4. Save this piece for later, for something else. Now 1 1/2, and I'm going to cut 4 of these. So I'm going to go 1 1/2. Bring it down just a little bit. So 1 1/2 and 1 1/2, and I want to keep these in order, just because you can see they'll go together. You won't be able to see it really, but I'm still going to keep it in order. 1 1/2, and my last piece should be 1 1/2. 1 1/2. So there are our 4 1 1/2 pieces, and then we need one piece that's 2 3/4 by 2 3/4, and that's why I grabbed an extra piece. Let me see. It's for this right here. And some of them I used a different piece, some I used the same. I think on this one I'm going to use a different piece. I think I'm going to use the back because it pulls out the colors. I'm going to do that. And it needs to be 2 3/4 by 2 3/4. And I'm only going to cut it to that. And then I'll cut my 2 3/4 down here. Okay. Trim up to my 2 3/4 here. Now I've got this piece that I can use for something else, and I'm going to use this. Now I've done all my cutting. So the first thing I'm going to do is take my base. I'm trying to keep these in order. I want to fold. So I'm going to fold in and out and in and out. And that leaves me with my accordion fold here. So now I'm going to grab my bone folder, and each one of these folds, I'm going to give it a really good burnish. It's always a challenge to keep the accordion folds down. And so I usually burnish several times. Burnish this. Burnish this one again. All right, we've got our accordion fold. That's our W fold. And then this is our V, and we're just going to fold it in half. And burnish it good. All right, then what I'm going to do is go ahead and take one of my basic white pieces. I'm going to set that aside a minute because this is going to be the front where I'm going to put my embellishments and my sentiment. So on the front of this, I did cut out some stems from thoughtful wishes, maybe. And I thought, well, I'll just put some stems on here because there are stems on this one, on the Designer Series paper. And my sentiment, I'm just going to use a happy birthday. So I'll place my stems around my sentiment. So I'm going to use the boho blue for my sentiment, since that's my base. Boho blue is not a dark color, so I want to make sure that I get enough ink on there. And I'm going to put my sentiment right up at the top. Oh yeah, perfect. Perfect, perfect. Now I can position my other pieces to kind of just outline my happy birthday. I'm thinking I might want this one in the middle. Now, your embellishments cannot hang over this edge because this is the edge of your card. So they can't hang over this edge, but they can hang off of this edge. All right. So I want to make sure that they don't hang off of this edge right here. And what I may do is trim this one. Now, I'll get my glue, Tombow glue, and put just a dot of glue. Come on, Tombow. There it is. Toward the top of this. And I'm going to put it, scrunch it in so that that piece, and I'm going to put a little bit of glue on this one, and I'm going to scrunch it in just a little bit. There we go. There, that's right around the happy birthday. I'll trim the bottom here in a minute. And then I want this one right in here. And I kind of want it overlapping this one. So it doesn't take much glue. And I don't glue the whole thing down, but there's that. So we're going to cut that off, and then this one is going to come along right here, and I'm going to trim this one off. I'm going to trim it down to the leaf. All right. Remember, this one can hang over. So we're going to put it right here. All right, I'm going to add a little bit of adhesive right here now to get that one down. And right here, get that one down. Hold them just a minute. Come on. All right. And this one, I think I can scrunch it up too. and move it up just a little bit so that it doesn't overlap. All right. I think we've got, now I could add more. I do have, and you could actually leave this hanging off the bottom a little bit, but I'm not going to. I do have some ribbon that I might use. Let's see, I need to secure this one now. Just a little bit, right there. I could put my ribbon right down here at the bottom. Let me see what that looks like. We might add that there. We'll see after we get it on. Okay, now this goes on to this. So it goes right onto the front. And then this goes on to the back side. And I want the blue up. Okay. I want the blue up. So this is going to go right on here. And remember, you can use whatever you want for this piece. You can use the same thing. The same side of the paper. But I chose to add a little bit of color. All right, and now we're ready to put, let's go ahead now and put our designer series paper on here. So we'll start with this one, and it goes right here. Okay. This is going to go right here, and you leave a border around each edge. And then this is my second one, and you see it connects. Even though you won't be able to really see it, it'll give it a uniformity look. Okay. And I'll make sure it lines up at the bottom. There's our second piece. Here's our third piece that ties right in, right there. I got some on my glass mat. Get that off. I don't want to line it up at the bottom. They're all the same size, so if you line it up at the bottom, the top is going to be perfect. And then here's our last piece. Here's the last one. Right there. Perfect. Perfect, perfect. Now we have this ready to go. So now we're going to attach this. And I attach it just so that it almost comes to the edge. And you can put it anywhere. You can put it down here, wherever you want your paper to show, your pattern paper. So I think I'm going to put mine down just a little bit. Let's see, if I put it, well, that's pretty close to the middle. And my blooms still show. I want my blooms to show. So I'm going to put it right here. Now for this, because I want it to stay, you could either use tear and tape. I use Stampin' Seal Plus. And all I did was put a strip of it here and a strip of it here. And then I'm going to position it where I want it. Line it up with the edge. Close it so that it'll be lined up. It's lined up with the edge. There we go. There we go. I love the way that is going to pull this color out. Now all we have left is our one piece left that we're going to put on the inside. And I just put some regular Stampin' Seal on the back of it. I hold it up against this. I just hold it up against that and lay it down. And make sure that it's even before I mash it. So I want to make sure that it lines up evenly on the edge. There we go. And there it is. Now we have it. Wasn't that easy? To me, that is such an easy card to make. All right, so here are your measurements again. Oh, my bow. Let's see. Where would be, maybe that would be the best place to put the bow. Right there. So I'm going to get a glue dot. Put my glue dot on the back of my bow. I'm going to put my bow right here and I'm going to trim. I'm going to trim these. I should get my, I'm going to get my ribbon scissors. I only use I tie a ribbon on the edge of these scissors and I only use them for ribbon. And it makes a huge difference. Huge difference. These you've used on paper with adhesive and all kinds of things. But the ribbon series scissors I only use for ribbon. And this one might still need to be a tiny, tiny bit shorter. There we go. There we go. We have finished our card. And let me pull the measurements down for you so you can see them again. Also, I always put everything from my Facebook Live on YouTube, and I put it on my blog. So if you want to see photos of the cards, then you can go to my blog and see the photos there, as well as the measurements and the instructions. So here are the 5 cards that we did with the WV Funfold. Hi, Kay. Thank you. I love this card too, and it is so easy to put together. But be sure and make a template. You know, I make a template of every Funfold card that I do. And then I keep it in a box of templates. So you want to be sure and have a template so you can go back, because I forget. You may not. But I forget, and I think, now how did I do that card? All right. These are your Funfold, WV Funfold cards with your measurements. I hope you've enjoyed the video today. Let me know. Let me know if you're going to give it a try. And thank you for watching. If you're watching on YouTube, be sure and go to subscribe and click the bell. And then you'll be notified for every for every video that is posted. Thank you so much for being here. And Kay, I'll see you tonight. All right. God bless you. Bye-bye.